Now for Sit 6-0, this is where I get 60 seconds to talk about anything I want. It's a good gig. Start the clock, please. Here's what's on my mind this morning. Were the Summer Olympics in Tokyo a success? Depends on how you look at it. If you're looking from a I like when Canada wins things perspective, yes. Heck yes. Go Olympics. 24 medals for Canada. Most they've ever had in a non-boycotted Summer Games. Also, the 7 gold medals tied for most by a Canadian team in any Olympics in the summer. So from a competitive standpoint, yes, these were successful games for Canada. But I do take issue with IOC President Thomas Bach yesterday saying that these games were a great success generally. Here are the facts. Athletes were subjected to performing in oppressive heat because of TV commitments all the time. Hundreds of athletes and coaches contracted COVID during these games. Tokyo has more daily cases than ever before as they leave. And while the city's only testing 7,000 people locally per day, the IOC managed to test 80,000. So from 30,000 feet, this was still kind of disgusting. So I'm a little torn. I don't know if they were a success. Donnovan Bennett of Sportsnet joining us. Donovan, help me out. Were these games a success?
That's you torn? You don't sound torn at all.
I'm pretty torn. I might have ripped a little at the end, but I am generally torn, yes.
I think we need to be torn about the Olympics, period, full stop, not just in the middle of a pandemic. Because if you're going to have the Olympics in a pandemic, I think this is the best that you could do, quite frankly. We didn't see competitive balance impacted because of COVID. And quite frankly, the cases were going up in Japan before the Olympics, and they probably are going to continue to go up afterwards. But if we look towards the next Olympics, we're just a couple months away in China. Some of the issues that you raised are still going to be there. Oh, and there's this like massive human rights issue that's just hanging above the entire games and whether or not countries like Canada should be going. So I think we're at the point where we need to examine the Olympics full stop, the impact on local economies, on the health and safety of people, marginalized communities being moved, the impact on the globe in terms of, global warming. And the other question is, you should question everything that Thomas Bach says. As soon as he says something, you know it's probably not true. So my questions are about the Olympics full stop, not just the ones that we just saw in Japan.
By the way, did you hear Thomas Bach won a gold medal in fencing once? I hadn't heard that before. Every time the guy comes out, they mention this gold medal in fencing. Congratulations, fencing. Get out of here. Just stop lying to me. Quickly, Donnovan, before we let you go, this should Canada, I was going to ask you something else, but this is more relevant. The should Canada go to Beijing discussion in 6 months, it's going to grow, right? Like, I think there's a reason the NHL haven't committed their players, right? There's this bubbling storyline. Would you not agree?
Has to. And quite frankly, I'm surprised it hasn't been a bigger storyline. The words genocide are difficult for people to use, but we finally started using them about what we did to the first people in our land, in this country. But shouldn't we keep that same energy and maybe apply it to what's going on elsewhere and maybe not be in bed with something that, as a country, if we're progressive, we shouldn't be aligned with? So individual athletes, sponsors, government, all should be, and I believe will be, asked some tough questions leading into these games. We were leaders in saying, well, wait a minute, we're not going to Tokyo a year ago because of what it meant to the health and safety and what it said about us as a country. I'm very interested to see if we're leaders again in terms of what happens in China, in specifically in Winter Games where, let's be honest, we place a lot better because we're competing against few people. So I'm interested to see what happens.
To be continued. We're going to have this conversation again. Donnovan Bennett, love you. Appreciate you. Take care, man.
You too, Bo.
He's good. All right, we're going to take a break. The border is open to vaccinated Americans after 16 months. Today is day one. As a Canadian, is this the right time for this? Let us know. You sound off. 1-866-267-3797. Feedback at breakfasttelevision.ca. Twitter 24/7. Let us know. It's a Monday. It's 6:44 Toronto. Good Monday morning. You're watching Breakfast Television. You sound off coming up after the break.